At 3:05 a.m., airport officials stamped a passport from a country that did not appear on any map on file. The stamp clacked onto the page. The man handed his papers across the counter with a steady hand. The room hummed with fluorescent light and the smell of jointed coffee. Nothing about the moment suggested anything other than routine processing, until the passport's country name did not match any country in the registrar's system. The location was Haneda, mid-1950s, an international terminal that handled a rising tide of travelers. The traveler was described as middle-aged, clean-shaven, wearing a dark suit, speaking several languages. He carried what appeared to be an official passport, a driver's license, a bank book, and hotel reservations in Tokyo. He insisted he came from Taured, a state he believed had existed for generations. The corridor outside was ordinary. The stairwell smelled of oil. Airport clerks signed forms and filed them away. These were the routines that would normally close a case. Officials became uncertain when the clerks could not reconcile the documents. The passport used an unfamiliar entry stamp and an official-looking crest. The driver's license bore a different script. Cash in his wallet included currencies indistinct from regional notes, but not matching known issues. He offered explanations that shifted when questioned. One moment he pointed to a map and said Taured lay between France and Spain. Another moment he seemed surprised by the suggestion that such a place could be missing from the map. He became agitated. Language and paper suggested authenticity. Office lights threw small shadows against the papers. Authorities detained him for further questioning and moved him to a small hotel room that had been requisitioned for the night. 2 guards were posted outside the door. The man slept. Morning brought a routine check. The room was empty. The guard's log recorded secured doors and windows the night before. The man's belongings were still on the table. His passport and wallet were gone. The window was locked. Hallway CCTV footage, such as it was at the time, showed no one leaving. Statements from the guards conflicted on timing and exact positions. No corresponding entry or exit was found in the airport manifests. Investigations produced competing explanations. Clerks suggested forged papers and a clever con artist. Linguists proposed an error in transcription or a dialect misheard at the counter. Psychiatrists raised the possibility of a dissociative episode or delusion. Practical security experts pointed to collusion or an unrecorded departure through a service entrance. Each explanation fit part of the record and failed to fit other parts. Forgeries could explain the passport, but not the handwriting on the driver's license. A delusion would not account for fluent answers about local hotels or the use of regional currency. Surveillance gaps left space for a physical escape, but no route was convincingly proven. Official archives from the period yield contradictory entries and, in some cases, no entry at all. A final inconsistency remains. The hotel's incident log notes a missing document, later crossed out and annotated in a different ink. No custodian could account for that ink. A photograph purportedly taken of the man's passport page circulates in some reports. Its provenance is unclear. The guard's signatures are legible and inconsistent. Decades of queries to airport records return photocopies with different stamps, different dates, and occasionally a blank line where a name should be. The case file, as it exists, is a collection of precise notations and stubborn omissions. The man from Taured walked into an ordinary terminal one night and, according to the paper trail and the testimony, simply ceased to be where he ought to have been. The record keeps a space open, and it remains there.